What's going on, guys? I just finished my cardio, just got out of the gym. I had a topic in my head. I want to throw it out to you guys. I know this is kind of like just out there in the middle of nowhere, and I just wanted to address it real quick, but there's a topic. Basically, everybody has to deal with this at some point, right? And the topic is, what do I do the day after I overeat when I'm dieting? You know, so like say you go to bed and then you just for some reason can't stop snacking and you have an extra protein bar or two and you go over 600, 700 calories. Now, if you go over your calories slightly like that, you know, anything less than 1,000 calories and you go over, then I personally like to do it like this. I just like to go to bed, wake up the next day, and literally start the day exactly the same. Don't change anything. I know this is kind of counterintuitive. It feels really weird because you're gonna wake up and you're gonna be full, right? You're gonna be like, I'm not really starving for breakfast. I mean, I could probably force it down to eat it, but I'm not even hungry, right? But by just eating regularly that next day, the next day, you'll be back on track, just like that. And then you just continue moving on with your diet. And I know it's like, oh man, I'm gonna waste that whole day though, I can make progress or whatever. But what you'll do, or not guaranteed, but what a lot of people will do is that next day they'll try to compensate by eating nothing, or by not eating their first meal, or waiting until like 3 or 4 to start eating, whereas they usually eat throughout the whole day. So when you do that, you're gonna sort of like start this kind of binge mentality where you eat so little the post day, the day after you like overeat, that you're hungry as hell by the end of the night, and then likely your body's gonna allow you to snack overboard again, and you're gonna go over your calories again. Then you're gonna do the same thing the next day. You're gonna be like, I'm bloated, I feel like crap, I'm not gonna eat. And then you're gonna push back meals, and then you're not gonna be able to handle the appetite you have, and then you're gonna snack overboard again. You see what I'm saying? It starts a vicious cycle. So just take the little, you know, stab in the gut that like one of your days is not going to be progression, and just eat regularly the day after you overeat, and then you can get right back on track. Okay, so now you might be asking, what if I don't just slightly overeat, you know, 600 calories more or a few protein bars or whatever more? What if I massively overeat? I eat so much that my stomach is tight when I go to bed. I wake up the next morning, I feel bloated everywhere. I just feel it in my face. I just feel terrible, right? First off, don't beat yourself up. Don't go tell yourself that you're a failure, or that you can't succeed at this diet, or that you suck, or that you're a terrible person. It's okay. When you're dieting, you're fighting your body on what it truly wants, and we don't have to hunt and gather anymore. So when we want food, all we have to do is just go get food and then put it in our faces. So eventually, your biological response to being hungry all the time, and especially depending on how much you're eating at a deficit, is gonna get larger and larger and larger, and sometimes you just can't control it, and you'll overeat, and then it turns into this big just shoving food in your mouth because you like that instantaneous, you're getting all those like serotonin and dopamine release because you're eating this nice food. But basically, point being is you overeat way too much, and that's okay. That's why I'm saying don't beat yourself up. I do it. Everybody does it. Not necessarily all the time, but a lot of people do it, and it's something you gotta face. Now, what I like to do when I overeat big time, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 calories overboard, you have to be very careful on this. You don't want to start yourself into a binge mentality like I was telling you in the first part of this video. But what I like to do is I like to skip that first meal, and that is it. I just skip that first meal. So my first meal is like 600, 700 calories. I just don't have that meal because I'll wake up and I'll still have food in my stomach and my intestines. It's still processing. I have tons of energy and whatnot. And I'll go do my workout because I work out in the afternoon. And then from that point on, I will eat just regularly. I'll eat all the meals that I was going to eat on a regular day, and that is the best way for me to get past a binge. Again, you got to be careful and not let yourself get into a binge mentality, meaning that you should not put off all of your meals or try to eat as little as possible. A lot of people do this. They'll eat absolutely as little as possible as they can the next day and try to go to bed after eating 400 calories for the whole day. And sometimes you'll make it and you'll go to bed and you'll wake up, and sometimes you won't, and you'll get that 400 calories in until right before bed, and then you'll be like, oh, I'll have a little snack, and then your snack turns into another binge, and that is when it gets dangerous, is when your binge mentality forces you to compensate, which forces you to binge again. You got to be very careful with that. So to put it in a little bit more concise terms, the most I would eat less the next day, so if I binged on Monday, the most I would take out of my diet for Tuesday would be at absolute most 800 calories. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm usually eating 2,200 calories, and that next day I might go to 1,600 calories or 15 or something like that. but I will not cut down all the way to like 500 calories, because that is how you kind of start yourself into a binge mentality. Anyways, this is a little bit of a ramble. My mind was just running while I was in the gym doing my cardio and stuff, and I was just like, this is a good topic. I've had this happen before. Even in this contest prep already, I've had days where I overeat, and sometimes more than others, and these are the strategies I take to, like, you know, counteract those days. And it's not bad for you to strategically plan how you're going to make up for overeating or binging, but you have to be strategic and not punishing yourself. Don't punish yourself, just be smart about it. Hopefully this video gave some insight on that. I know I kind of ramble a little bit, but I hope you guys got something out of this. And if you guys like this, I'm definitely down to do way more topics about like dieting and stuff like that. But thank you guys for joining the video. If you liked the video, make sure you share it, subscribe. Other than that, team man on the week, CT.